Alright, another serious note. I have barely any words for this. We have teens, I believe young teens, running for governor for Kansas. And they also say that we should have recreational drugs for marijuana and all that. Guys, stop to think about this. Stop to think about this. Because, if America is going down the toilet drain, they would rather not say, but it really is. I mean, first we have Rufinol, date rape drug that causes demons to enter your body. Just demons will enter your body through, let's say, a contract for your soul from a medication that is actually used to be illegal because of it being a hallucinogen, which makes demons enter your body. And now we have teenagers supporting marijuana, and they're going for office. I mean, you're too young to vote, but you're not too young for office. When David was a king, when just about everyone was king. I mean, Israel had problems with this as well, but I mean, guys, if you're president of America, you're supposed to be 35 years old. David did the right thing. He was around his 30s when he was king. Other people that were king in the early, when they were young, lots of them were evil. Because young pride is really out there. It's really bad. The Lord says anyone can be a ruler just as long as they're responsible. And I think a lot of teenagers are not responsible. There's a lot of gray areas in this one, but let me tell you what's not gray. You're not an adult in America. You made yourself having to do a special job only when you're adult. Every teenager in America has to do, or at least that's what they say, they have to have minimum wage jobs in America. And they have to absolutely obey by a non-college job when they're a teenager. But these guys, they broke the law just by running for office in Kansas. Because when you're an adult, you get to go to college. But even then, you can still go to college when you're a teenager because the rules have been a little bit broken there. So when you're really smart, you can run for office, but still you have to have the laws. In the law system, you have to have a limit of how old you have to be like a boss or something like that. There's a lot of broken systems in America. So what do these teenagers think that we should do? Have marijuana? Everything about limiting it to the law system, and literally, like I said, I think God is frustrated with America. This land has become the riches of Babylon. I'm sorry to say, but really, what frustrates me the most is the fact that teenagers are not really old enough to understand how to run the government like that. They're not physically able to do that. Especially when there were kings that were not physically able to run the office, and there were a lot of really bad kings when they were young. Seems like the law of the older ones, they fail too, but not as miserably as the teenagers. Read the Bible on Chronicles, Kings, and all that, and you shall see that a lot of the young ones caused a lot of problems. Then there was Daniel. He was an older king in Babylon, or more like the king's vice. I believe he was more like the vice president of Babylon. He held the king's commands, and he was a righteous person. He went around the loopholes, and he basically he ran the whole nation and made everything better. But that's when he left. I believe everything went down again. He protected the nation a little bit. He did what was right and protected the Israels, or the people of Israel. But he was an old man when he was basically reigning in office. In kingship, you're supposed to rule until you're dead. In some cases, when you're kicked out. So, when they become governor of Kansas, I guess we don't have to be surprised anymore. But, I guess, I don't know, it's like Rufinol. That did not surprise me as much as a teenager basically running for office. Rufinol kind of surprised me because it's a much higher active drug than anything else. Cocaine would surprise me as well. I think, not else. I don't know. Not meth. I don't know. It's like, what is useful anymore? I know that marijuana was not that bad, but that's still pretty bad. That still smells like skunk to God. If you're wondering about that. And just as bad as people that are literally under the influence of transgender, LGBT, gay, all that. And one of the teenagers looked like he was 16 years old. I don't know. It's like, how much more can America mess up? I don't know. Seems like when other countries rule under Israel, they tend to really have a messed up culture, or they tend to change. Like when England started to, own Israel, they just messed the lands up and caused a lot of upheaval in that land. World War II started because of Hitler wanting to destroy all Jews. I don't think it was England's fault, but partially it was. Then with us making Jerusalem a nation under our rule, I think that really messed up us. I think that really messed up us. I think that really messed us up. I think that us being owning the rights to Israel and us not minding our own business to Israel, that messed us up. And unfortunately, if you do a contract with the devil, you're stuck with the devil until someone finds a way to help you. And if you're willing, then you're no longer stuck with the devil. So please pray for our nation that we don't have any more problems, because first it was Rufinol, then it was teens for Kansas, basically teens for running Kansas. I know they'll become adults, but when when one of those scenes runs Kansas, unfortunately, I believe that a lot of things will be corrupted and a lot of people will sin in Kansas and there will be a lot of crime because they don't know what they're doing really. They're too young to know what they're doing. Just like a 3-year-old doesn't know how to do algebra. That's just not simple enough for them. Just like there is a 17-year-old or 16-year-old, it's not simple enough for them to own the land of Kansas and actually rule it. So please pray for America, okay? Hope you don't know, okay? Bye.